I'm like going in completely on my own. That's why I'm trying to get as much help as possible. I don't know. I don't know how to go about things. I mean, when I go in there, what do I do? Do I stand in the dark, or do I just stand outside and say I'm okay just to stand here, or how shall I go about it? I don't even know.
Well, I know you have a lot of different questions, and they're common questions everybody's got in the beginning, so lucky everybody's pretty familiar with the basics. I just want to say that it looks like you're probably going to have a role play call here in a few hours if you can stay awake that long.
Yeah, I'll be alright, because at the moment in United Kingdom it's exactly about 8:25 in the afternoon, so
okay.
It's alright.
Okay, so yeah, this might work out for you. I mention that because in the role plays, I just want you to keep in mind that you'll get advice that is better than any lawyer you could ever buy on the planet. And so when you hear me talking, I can only speak to the very basics. So just keep in mind I'm not trying to speak for anything too advanced. You'll get that when you talk to everybody. Yeah?
Right.
Okay. But I can answer the basics. So what?
Work, Joe? I mean, just to say, how does it all? I mean, is it a video call or something, or is it just a call?
No. I mean, do you have the script? That would really help give you a picture.
Is it the script that you sent me for the basis of the questions to ask when I'm there? Like.
Yeah. Do you have it open or in front of you?
I have it on my phone open.
Okay.
On Skype, yeah.
Okay, let me open it up because there's a starting point to it. Here it is. Sorry, let me pull it up here. Okay. So in this script, it's like 12 pages to it, and on the bottom of page 3 is where it begins for the script for the judge. Okay, so what we can do is you just kind of go through something like this, and then you ask questions about any questions you have at all. And this will give you a game plan, like an outline, so that when you
Joe, I'm trying to look for the script.
Let me send it to you. Okay.
Do you reckon I can see it whilst you're on the phone to me as well? Would it let me do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, let's see, where is it? Oh, I know where it is. I'm just gonna...
What's happened is, Joe, it's like, I've been pulled over by the police, and I was in my dad's car at the time, and I was just doing a favour. I was going to one of the workplaces, like, I work for this, big laundry company. It's like a big factory. It's a big power linen company, basically. They provide cloths and stuff like that.
I see.
I was doing a favour to one of the restaurants because I was going past at that time. I had this cloth in the car that I was just gonna pass over. And as I've pulled over, the police have stopped me and they're like asking me, what am I doing here? And I said, I'm just here to drop off some cloth, from my workplace that I've had. I'm doing them a favour. They looked on their database, on the ANPR checks, and they go that my insurance excludes commuting. They go, you're only insured for social and domestic, so they're going to report me. They cautioned me, whatnot. And there we go. I ignored their letters. They didn't send me letters for proof of insurance. I know I'm insured, but I know I'm not insured for commuting, but I was only doing a favour. I wasn't getting paid for it on that day. So I just ignored it because I thought they're wasting my time there.
Yeah.
And they actually sent me a court letter now. They want me, on the letter, it's got the police officer's statement. It's got papers for plea, if I want to plead guilty or not guilty before the hearing, and then my hearing date and such on. So I was just wondering, that's the situation. I mean, like I didn't have insurance for commuting, but I wasn't getting paid at the time. I was just doing a favour.
Right. Well, everybody has kind of a similar, the people who are here for traffic reasons, which are most, have a similar situation. Okay, so the good news is that the particular circumstances, luckily, aren't really too relevant, because the relevant issue that we spend all the time on, of course, is this jurisdictional issue.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not familiar with just how familiar you are with it, so stop me if you need to save time, but in a nutshell, basically, we're just going in there and saying, you're not the boss of me, and if you think you are, you need to prove it.
Yeah.
And it has to be written down somewhere. Your opinions aren't good enough. I'm not going to be fined and go to jail because of your opinions. That doesn't mean anything. It has to be written down somewhere, and it's not. And that's it. So that's kind of what we do. And I sent you the script. I don't know if you can get to it or see it while you're on the phone, but I sent it to you as a file within the phone call here on Skype.
Right.
And if you...
is it a long script, or is it something that's basic?
It's really basic, but it's on page 3 of 12 pages. So just because it's 12 pages, don't think that it's long. It starts at the bottom of page 3, and it just goes for... You just read it, and when you read that, like when you have this role play today, if you read that before you have the role play, you're going to get a lot more out of the role play because you're already going to know the basics of what it is you're going to go in there and accomplish. Right now you have no idea. But
I have no idea.
You have no idea. So
I don't know whether to stand in the dock or what
right.
do I do? Like, do I go in there and say I'm under common law jurisdiction? Do we have an accord? What do I do? Do I say that? I mean,
yeah, all that stuff is in the script. Here, I'll start to go over it, and just to show you how easy it is, I'll just open it up here and give you an example. And this applies even though
Joe, what would you do if you was in my shoes?
This is exactly what I would do. I'm telling you right now, this is what I would do. So I'd get this script, and if you want, have it on your phone or have it on paper, file, whatever, there in the court. And I would read it, practice it, go through this role play, and then just practice, and go in court. So here's how it starts. They're going to say, Mo, case number blah, 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 or whatever. Here's the start of your case. And it says right here what to say. Okay? I mean, if you don't want to make up your own, it says right here. It says, Sir, I'm not a lawyer. I just don't understand these proceedings. I intend on pleading guilty. I have this unsigned guilty plea here and paying the fine, but I do have some questions before I can do that. And okay, what are your questions? Right? And so here's the questions. You just go to the next one. And every single time you have yes or no, and you have a pen there, and you have to circle yes or no when you get a yes or no for every question. If you don't get it, then you just say, oh, is that a yes or a no? They have to answer yes or no. And that's all this is, man. It's super simple, just like that. What's up?
Yeah, Joe, I was going to say, like regarding that, I seen a video of Mark Stevens. He actually wrote that down on a piece of paper. He goes, give it to them. But I was wondering if I go in there and say my intentions are to plead guilty, really, in realistic terms, I don't want to mean. I don't want to plead guilty.
Good question. I'm glad you're bringing it up, and I'm glad you bring up any questions you have during any of this. The only reason why we do that, it's a tactic. None of us actually plead guilty or ever actually intend to. The only reason why we say that is because these judges, the worldwide, have always been using this tactic saying, no, jurisdiction is an issue for trial, and first you need to plea. And so in order to counter that, that's why they invented having this unsigned guilty plea, because it says, what are you talking about, trial? I'm here to intend to plead guilty today, I just need clarification.
Yeah.
And so what it tells the judge is, oh, he's not even planning on going to trial, therefore I can't even use that excuse. It takes that excuse completely away from them. That's the only reason why we have it. Yeah. And so it says right here, right now, is what we're challenging jurisdiction, not at trial. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I was just wondering, is that how they start off, or would they not say things like, what's your name and what's your occupation and stuff like that?
Oh, sure, sure. I mean, if they do that, you'll learn. That's kind of part of the polish. Is you'll learn. Okay, so your name is Mo such and such.
Stand in the dock.
Right, stand here.
In the dock.
All of those things, yeah, you can tackle that. But for now, put that to the side in your brain. I mean, I know how to do that, but it's not necessary to what has to happen. Certain things are necessary, but that isn't. Like if somebody went in and said, yeah, that's my name, and then went in and did this whole jurisdiction thing, it would still hold water. So yeah, you can do the name thing, but if you start into it and you don't know exactly what you're talking about, you're actually going to hurt yourself. And that's why we don't recommend people just jump into that. Everybody hears about it. And sure, you can, look, I don't want to be this all caps. I respond to a sound, not something on paper. I don't identify with this on paper, and you guys are trying to make this all caps in my name. I'm saying that's not me. I'm not identified as that. I mean, there's ways to go about this. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So keep it, but keep it to more qualified people than myself. I mean, I know how to do it for me, but I just don't want to invite somebody from another country. We have people from the UK all the time, so. What other questions do you have, man? Rather than me just talk, what questions do you have?
Questions are that these things might be a bit different from the US to the UK. Like, let's say you file a motion to dismiss.
Hold on 1 second.
Maybe we have an application to dismiss, so I don't know how actually I go about filing any motion. Do I file any motion before I attend the hearing, or
I can answer that too.
So at least they know my situation, where I stand with this case.
Right.
Like, really, Joe, I believe that I shouldn't even have to go court. I'm only going court under duress, I think. Where
of course.
They're threatening me. They're threatening me to arrest me and stuff like that, or plead guilty in my absence. Like, I don't agree with that without my consent.
Of course. So maybe we should start there, because I want you to have certain.
I've not been court.
Huh?
Yeah. Because I've not been to court. I've never actually questioned them ever in my life. I don't know how it will go, because there's definitely, you got to admit, there's definitely in court, there's like they all take sides, don't they? Prosecution, Crown, and they're all on one side, and I'll be on my own. There'll be nobody taking my side with them.
Yes.
There's an interest of they have an interested party amongst themselves. They're all one unit, basically.
Yeah,
and they're gonna come out with everything. Then I probably I wouldn't know if it's true or not.
Yep, everything you say is true for everybody who starts this. That's what it is. So I think the best way I can help you is to make sure that you understand what it is this jurisdiction and consent actually means, because that's the heart of it. If you don't understand the heart, then all the role play in the world is only so good. What do you understand so far about what this jurisdiction actually is and consent actually means?
I think jurisdiction is where they have like a right over you, where they have the power over you, authority over you. Whereas I think jurisdiction comes from where they think I am a person and I'm a corporation, and they get it from my birth certificate. Whereas I'm a man, I'm a sovereign, I'm a human being. I'm not that fictitious person that they're talking about as birth certificate.
Right.
And I think because of that, they think I'm a legal entity and they have jurisdiction over me.
Sure.
But I think jurisdiction is just like they have authority and power over me. But consent is I've not consented to it, so I think if it's statute law, and if any government law, statutory law, acts and regulations, stuff like that, I'm sure it has the force of law only by the consent of the governed, which is I am the governed. So, I think it's only by my consent they would have any jurisdiction over me. So if I go in there and I say, look, this court has no jurisdiction over me because I've not consented, I've not signed any papers, or I'm not in any contract. I mean, is there a complaining party?
Yeah.
If there is, then stuff like that. I think I know, and I do know, like, say 40-50% of what's going on.
Yeah, you do.
I do, but I just need like people that have been there and done that, and they can just clarify things for me. Say, Mo, that's right. That's how it is, and we're a slave by consent and stuff like that. I just need the support. You see.
Okay, so here's how this place can help you. Look, I'm going to tell you right now exactly what I wish somebody would have told me. I am going to focus your time and energy. Just make everything more efficient for you, okay?
Yeah, that's great.
The people here, when you get into this role play, here's just a heads up. The people here are very motivated to help you. And it's going to be a little bit of a shock at first, because you're not going to be used to it. And this is why. we all only have X amount of time. And so we use a way of kind of helping each other out that is very direct. It's very direct in the same way that judges are very direct, right?
Yeah.
Like courtrooms are. And so at times it can be, at first to new people, just keep this in mind too, kind of abrasive. Like people will just be kind of curt, kind of rude with you, kind of interrupting. But they're doing it on purpose to freaking help you. Okay?
Right.
Also, that's point number 1. So keep that in mind. Point number 2 is this. People have no tolerance. Well, I mean for regulars, not for new people. So but keep in mind, people don't like when we communicate sloppily with words, like reckless. We just kind of choose whatever words come to mind. And again, the reason why is because in a courtroom that hurts us. We want to choose every word very carefully because we only have so much time and we know what each word means. Does that all make sense, those 2 points?
Yeah.
So I only bring that up because, for instance, when you were just speaking to me, you said, well, I don't think they have the authority or the right to do this, that, and the other. I mean, what you just said is that makes common English sense. But in legalese, there's parts of that are wrong that you need to be aware of. And people will make you aware of those things, not by being nice and PC, and, oh, hey, guess what, this is kind of wrong because of this reason X. They're just going to say, what are you talking about? What's a right? And they're going to challenge you. And the reason why, again, is because we learn best when we teach ourselves. No one here is trying to be your teacher. Well, okay, some people are, but they're not the best, and you'll find that out quickly. The best way to teach someone is for them to teach themselves. And we can do this so simply just because everybody's got common sense, and that's all this requires. So if I say to you, like, okay, well, what do you mean by right? We hold each other accountable for every word. I ask you, what do you mean when you say the word right? So you know what you're talking about. Can you defend it? Because people will challenge you. What is a right to you?
Right. It's, see, my mind's gone blank. A right would be, I have a freedom of choice, my rights. I have an opinion, and
okay, what if somebody else has an opinion that they can kill you, and they say, a right is my opinion, and I think I can kill you, so I did it. It's my right. You see what I mean? How people are going to try to point out contradictions in your own statements to get you to critically analyze what is it that I'm saying, and what is it that I actually know, and what is it that I actually am trying to communicate here.
Yeah.
Right. So I try and give everybody a little heads up. Yo, this is what happens,
that's great.
And don't keep it. Some people come in and they kind of take it personally, like these people are being rude to me.
What
no,
would
we're
you
not.
say then? What would you say a right is then?
Good answer. Okay. Here's another thing. If you don't know, say you don't know, and then ask.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I don't know. What is right? That is a perfectly acceptable response here, and nobody will make fun of you for it. That is a statement of honor to say, I don't know. What is your opinion? Okay, so what the standard opinion here is for a right is very broad, as the definition of a right should be. It is anything that you can freaking use your imagination to come up with. You can do just as long as it doesn't cause harm, injury, or loss to another human being, because that's their rights.
Yeah.
So if you can think it up and it doesn't hurt anybody else, you can do it. And all of that is a right. So when you say, like, well, jurisdiction is, I don't know if these courts have the right or the authority. Yeah, they don't have the authority, but they never had, it's impossible for them to ever have the right, even if they have the written down on paper or not, because they're imposing harm, injury, or loss on other human beings. So a judge will never have the right to do what he's doing to you. They never have the right to do this technically, because it's causing you undue loss, injury, or harm. And that's against natural law. So this all, as you can tell, this will get deep quickly, and I don't go there. I just keep it super shallow on the surface, so not to confuse people. But I just give you that as a tiny example of, hey, what do you mean, as what's coming when you go into the role play. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got you prepped for that. Just understand, all of this is coming from people who are very motivated to help me, and they're simply teaching me in a way that helps me teach myself by asking questions.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So your story is cool. It's great. The details, fine. But honestly, we've heard them a million times. It's important to you because it happened to you, and just like my details are important to me. Well, it's unfair. Look at all this unfairness. That's something that, as we mature in this process, we just get past.
Yeah.
I mean, when someone says, "Oh God, look at this," and they tell all the details of their story, yes, they're all relevant, and we will sit there and patiently listen to it all. But in our heads, we're going, we have to sit here and listen to this story when we could be helping you. We know your story. You got a traffic problem. You ready to go to court? Let's do this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm just keeping all this just to let you know this is kind of how people communicate here. Yeah, we all smoke and joke and have fun, but we also have an element of we train like reality, so that when we go into reality, it's like we train. We just take a part of it seriously.
Yeah, you're ready for it.
Sure, and the goal is again to teach you as quickly as possible. We want to make you a ninja in there as quickly as possible because nobody has a lot of time. We all have lives.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So this role play you're going to see is blow you away if you take advantage of it. You may not have the mic the whole time. There might be other people too, but it doesn't matter. You'll learn from them too. But it sounds like it's going to be new, so.
Yeah, definitely, it's going to be new.
But it's just if you have the inclination and the desire, Mo, to be like, yeah, I could go in there and just pay the stupid money and be done with this and go about my life. But if you have this personality that says, fuck you guys, I'm not bending my knee to this bullshit. This is obviously a hustle. This is a criminal gang at work, and I'm going to go to the trouble and spend the time to figure out how to fuck you guys up for this. This is BS.
Yeah, I have that time.
Well, if everybody does, then problem over. That's why we're all so motivated to help. Yeah. So, I'm done talking. That's really just kind of the intro rant I have. Again, do you have any questions? Because I'll just sit here and try and quickly, concisely answer your questions. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
One to the other.
Basically, the courtroom script that you sent, that should be sufficient, shouldn't it, for me to go in there with an...
Well, it is, but, I mean, it is, and we'll go over it. It's good to practice it, but you got to know why you're saying what you're saying. I mean, do you have it here in front of you? Can you read it, and I'll just read it, and I'll answer like I'm a judge, super easy, yes or no?
It's downloading, you see, whilst you're on the phone, so it's like loading up.
Yeah, it's no big deal. This is what the role play will be like. I mean, so what we do is basically, while it's downloading, we have easy questions, medium questions, and hard questions, and they're not in categories, that's just my opinion. We start out with easy questions to make sure that they're going to mind their manners, and then we go to the hard questions. And because we already set up the easy questions to put them on the record saying they're going to mind their manners, they can't do all the tactics they usually try to not mind their manners.
Yeah.
So it's easy questions to trap them, hard questions to nail them. Okay? Right. So the easy questions like this: am I entitled to a fair hearing? Yeah. Well, everybody knows that's a yes. No judge is going to say no. Am I entitled to a meaningful hearing? Yes. But you got to know what fair means and meaningful means. Like fair, we're equals. Meaningful, we get to make progress. You don't get to stall and stall and stall, and that's bullshit. That's not meaningful.
Yeah.
Okay. Things like this, and then the next question: what are the consequences, if any, if you don't give me a fair and meaningful hearing? That's not a yes or no question, but it lets the judge know, hey, just in case it doesn't go that way, what are your consequences? Super. Next, am I entitled to be informed of the nature and cause of the charges and proceedings against me? Yes or no? They're always going to say yes. Now that question has a lot of words in it that you have no idea what the hell those mean, but you will.
Yeah.
So I
I actually need to learn that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
need to know the meanings of it.
Yeah.
Is it all here then? What you've sent me, would it be all here with the meanings and stuff? Or
no, the meanings. Not all of the meanings are in here. But, and guess what? A lot of these questions, you're not going to ask. Okay? Yeah. Some of these questions you may not ask. Some you may add some. I only give this to people who are brand new because they're so uncomfortable. Like, oh my God, I can't do this on my own. It's like, well, here's a script. Let's everybody settle down. We have a game plan for you to use. But we'll customize it to your situation. And you've just got to take the time to learn. We're doing this for free to help. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Like I'm going through this. I'm looking at it now.
Okay.
I mean, most of it relates to another country, doesn't it? Like California, is it? California. I mean,
Yeah, because it was written here. But we have several people here who are in the UK who will answer that question for you, no problem. They'll be, yeah, we just substitute this instead. Done.
right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just the way when when it says a motion to dismiss, it's like in the UK instead of motion they say application.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Joe, how does that work? The motion, is that something you do after all the questions and stuff, or is that something you can just put in writing and send it off to them beforehand?
It's something that is supposed to happen if everybody knew. Like, if I got a ticket right now, I would put the motions in before the first hearing. But that's because I know how to defend it. If I was brand new, I don't think I would. It's just too much. I would just go ahead and do the arraignment and be like, learn how to argue for jurisdiction, because what's going to happen, guaranteed, is the judge is going to say, shit, alright, extension, or put it in a motions hearing, however that's called in the UK. And then they're going to give you time, at least a few weeks before the next date. And in that time, you'll submit the motions hearing, learn how to defend it, and that will be your next hearing. Now, this isn't like concrete, this is how it goes. This is just typical. Right?
Yeah.
So you can do it however you want. And again, keep in mind, please, these are only my opinion. We are now in Joe's opinions land. And you'll get probably better ones, more. So.
Yeah, sounds great. You know what? Thanks, Joe. It's been a lot of help so far. I'm just like, if I get stuck on anything, what I need to do is I need to study that script, go through it thoroughly, and I have to try and understand what is that, what the words are that are being said. And if I get stuck on anything, obviously the group chat's always there, and
yeah, the group chat's there. If you number one, I'm glad you've got till February 8th or whatever it is, so you've got some time. But
feels like around the corner, though.
It does, and it is.
Like it's coming.
It is, and it is still. What helped me a lot is I just found out the recordings from earlier role plays, like the one I just pointed to you earlier today, and I turned those into an MP3 file, and then plugged it into my earphones some way, somehow, when I went out on the town, or when I'm waiting in line at the grocery store, whatever the fuck it is I'm doing. I've got this story going on in my earphone, and man, now I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much, and it doesn't take anybody else's time. I can learn it whenever it's convenient for me.
Have you actually got that? Have you recorded any conferences?
Oh yeah, we have. I mean, the one I sent in the chat earlier today was the one from when I was learning 3 months ago. And it was in the... I
don't know if I got that.
Yeah, you should have it. It's in the... What room are we in? The anti-arraignment room, yeah? I sent it about... Looks like 4 hours ago now. There's a YouTube link.
It's a YouTube link, Win in Court 6.
Yes. So that is my YouTube channel, and any video in it that starts out with the win in court, those win in court videos are for new people to help them learn this stuff. And so those are, and then other people have others. What I've tried to do is I've taken, like, if you see a video of mine that's win in court and it's like an hour and a half, that used to be like a 3 to 6 hour video. And I went through it and edited the shit out of it to get all the stuff that didn't matter in it out.
Yeah.
And so it's just full of stuff that is important, but other people have more. And that's a great way to learn.
It's a bit, I don't know, but like, I get it, but when you like get me on the words, then that's it, I get stuck. But I do get the nature, like, where, if they have evidence to back their case that I have an obligation, or that law applies to me, then they should show it me. Isn't that as simple as that? I'm just requesting. I'm just asking for evidence, basically. If they have evidence that law applies to me,
Yes, I'm glad. That's exactly what you're doing. That is exactly what
That's
all
all
of
I'm
us are
doing,
doing, and we just happen to be born into a world where it's dominated by a court system that uses that fraud against everybody and fucks the whole world up. Yes, that's what we're doing.
So when I go in, who is it that I'm speaking to? Am I speaking to the judge or the prosecutor? I'm talking
Good
to the
question.
judge.
Good question. You are speaking to the judge. However, the crux of our assertions here are pointing to the fact that the prosecutor is the one that has the burden, and they're not meeting it. That's a failure to prosecute. So
it's the
while we're talking
prosecutor's
to
job to prove.
Yes.
He needs to prove that the laws apply to me. He has to show me evidence.
Yes, evidence.
And basically, the judge is just the mediator in the middle. He just needs to tell the prosecutor. As you said, like, the burden's upon the prosecutor. So all he has to do is tell the prosecutor, show me the evidence that the laws apply to me, and I'll put my hand up to the charges. I'll be willing to go ahead until I don't see any proof or evidence, factual evidence.
Right.
There's no case against me, and there's no jurisdiction in it.
Yes, that's how it's supposed to go. But of course it's not going to, because as you said, the judge is on the same side as the prosecutor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, but I'll tell you this.
I'm in there on my own as well, Joe.
Right. So we get victories from dismissal letters, or they'll dismiss it quietly for some technicality in court. Just this morning, I listened to an audio of a gentleman who got a parking meter ticket, and he was in court talking to the judge about it, and he brought up these simple points that we're talking about here, and the judge knows the hustle. The judges know what's going on. They know who knows what's up and who doesn't have a clue. And the judge knew, because this guy could articulate and defend himself intelligently, that this was going to be a big headache. So he put him he said, well, fine, I'm going to do everybody else, then we'll come back to you. And the guy said, fine, whatever. So he did everybody else in the courtroom, went back to him, and then still tried to get him off of it, He couldn't, and so what the judge did is, in a moment, he decided, fuck it. He said, all right, I'll tell you what. Because the city's been writing so many of these parking tickets, some of them don't require photographs, and because the rules require that they have photographs, I don't believe that this is going to be valid, so I'm going to go ahead and dismiss it. He just did it out of the blue, and that's how we win. It sounds crazy, it sounds dysfunctional, it sounds psychotic, unbelievable. How the hell is the world this way? But it is, and that's how it is. That's a win. So it's very possible.
It is, yeah. I was wondering, on the chat, like, is there anybody in UK that would be willing to come down, or shall I put it?
Someone mentioned
I'll put it in,
right? I thought I read somebody mention they were.
Yeah, so did I. I thought somebody that was saying they're in Nottingham or something.
Yeah, but you'll meet a guy named Fabrizio, and Fabrice is from UK. I think Vin is from UK, and who's the third guy?
Gary, is it? Gary.
No, Gary's in St. Louis.
Right.
There's a third guy I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember his name, but they're UK people for sure. Paul, I think is his name.
I think Vin's on the chat, on the group chat, but I don't think I've seen Fabricio or...
You will. Look, you just have to you'll come across these people, and then eventually you get to add them to your list.
Right.
That's all it is,
if I could, get hold of any of them, go down there, meet up, and see what they have to say as well. It's probably the same thing, but then it's face to face, and you get more of it.
Look, man, I'll tell you this though. Okay. One of the people here is a guy named Caleb, and he just turned 18 years old. I mean, he was just a minor, a child, and he's 18 years old, and he's up in the courts doing it on his own. So what I'm saying is, you'll get this help, but what you'll get more out of, is that you don't know right now, is you're going to have an insane higher level of confidence. You just don't know yet. once you know all this stuff, you'll have so much confidence that you'll be like, well, I want more people there so that they can record it, so that I can help spread this out, and so other people see it. It's not because, it's good to have support, but you know your shit. You could go in there, like this 18-year-old kid is doing it. If he can do it. And he went in there, big-ass scary judge threatening the shit out of him. Contempt, jail, violence, everything. Like an American judge, dude. So just know that, somebody will be there. Also, know, my opinion is that you're going to have the confidence to where that fear you have right now just is going to be a lot less. Quickly.
Yeah. I can't wait for this conference still. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great.
How does it work in this conference? Is it just one by one? They just choose out people and they be like, right, Mo, it's your turn now.
Well, typically what we do is we say who's got their court appearances coming up the soonest. And they might have someone like that, or if not, I mean, if you're in the chat, you're on the brain, they know that you're needing help. So it'll be your turn. So you basically that's why I'm trying to get you to digest, if you've got the time, as many of the easy basics right now, because when you are in the role play here in a couple hours, dude, that is valuable time that you got live with professionals. That is not to be wasted. Like the more progress you can make during those minutes, the better for you. So do you see how you'll make more progress the more you know in the beginning? That's all.
Right, Joe, you know what I'm going to do then? I'll start off with the one you have, the Fort Win 6, the roleplay that you've listened to before, so then at least I know how it goes.
Yeah, and if any of those get too, further in the game and you're like, what's this, I have too many questions, Marc Stevens, his YouTube channel has great videos that do the exact same thing. And Gary, his YouTube channel has a playlist that has... If Gary has a favorite, it's really good. And it'll teach you the beginning first. So just look for titles that say, beginning or 1, 2, 3 introduction, things like this. And that'll be the best for you. And then you'll go on the role play, you'll be like, holy shit, this is amazing. And just like all of us have, and boom, you're off and running.
Always. Joe... Nice one for this, and if you could just send me some more links to get onto the role play and
no
stuff like that. Yeah.
Give me a second.
And are you going to be at the conference then in a couple of hours or what?
Yeah. Let's see, what's this today? Monday, it's the 18th. Yeah, I'll be in there.
Right.
And I'll send you a couple more links through the Skype here. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you'll hear me then. You'll hear me shortly in the conference. I just spoke to him. Let's see what he learned. It's not that complicated, when you think about it. It is common sense. It does make sense. It does make sense. It's just the fact that they're actually doing this to us, it's crazy. That we live in this world and just how they're treating us. No wonder you're in Hawaii. I don't blame you, man. I'll probably come down and join you myself. Bloody hell.
I'm serious. That's what did it. I just got sick of mainland America. It was like, F this place, man.
Yeah, man. There's no future here. There's no freedom. Like they say there's freedom. There really is no freedom.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I mean, I can't get into it now, but the kind of freedom that I enjoy here is just... It's like 99.99999% of everybody on the planet will trade places with me, even with this legal bullshit I have to deal with. It's ridiculous. It is just stupid. It's unfair. It is ridiculously unfair, the kind of freedom that I get to have here. Anybody can.
Wow.
But you just gotta want it bad enough, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Whereabouts is Hawaii anyway, Joe? Is that is that near America or is that somewhere else?
Well, it's probably, 2,000 to 3,000, maybe 2,000 miles off the west coast of America, off California, and we're about the same latitude as Mexico City, 19 degrees north latitude.
Right. So what countries are you close to then?
We're not close to any, which is exactly the way I like it.
Oh, right, wow.
We're just in the middle of the Pacific by ourselves.
Oh, sheesh, yeah. So what laws, is there any laws there at all, or is it just common law?
Well, it's an American state, so it's all American laws, which is why I'm having such a problem.
Right. I thought it would have been like, 'cause it's on an island and such, as you say.
Yeah, well,
You're having a good time there.
yeah, a lot of people want to get rid of the American government, and that's another reason why I'm here. So, it might actually happen.
Oh, all the best. Amen to that.
Yeah, that's what everybody's doing, more or less. You too.
Yeah. So Joe, I mean, I'll leave you to it for now, but I'm gonna look into these conference calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. If you can get a role play going, I'm telling you. I mean, you're talking to a guy who takes nothing in life seriously except these role plays. Like, use them. That's gold. And take it seriously in a way where you choose every word carefully, and you mean every word you say. And if you're like, no, you're being dumb. Oh, okay, I don't know what this is. What is it? And you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's great. Joe, nice speaking to you. Send me some more links, Joe.
Yeah, I will do. Now that I'm off the phone, I'll send more links to you.
Alright then, cheers, bro.
Alright, cheers.
I'll speak to you soon.
Yep, talk to you soon. Bye.